Hey, what's up YouTube? So I got another video for you guys today. This one's going to be a little bit different than my usual barbarian video. Today I'm going to be focusing on the monk. I've touched on the wizard in the past, but not a whole lot on the wizard. And I'm going to be starting to get into monks a little bit more. This is my side character that I casually play on the side a little bit. This is a sweeping winds build that I'm going to be showing you guys today. Today I'm going to be focusing on the skills and runes that I use, and I'm going to explain a little bit as to why I use them. I'm going to be just doing this on MP5 because today I'm just doing skills, so it doesn't really matter what MP I show you guys the skills on. So, my first skill that I use is crippling wave, which is a spirit generating attack. I almost said fury. I play a barbarian too much. It's a spirit generating attack which does 110% weapon damage to all enemies in front of you, and every third attack, as you are doing them in a chain, every third attack hits all enemies around you in a 360 and dazes them, slowing their movement speed by 30% and attack speed by 20%, which is really nice for survivability purposes. I'm using the Rising Tide rune, which generates 5 additional spirit for every target you crit. So if you crit, you're going to generate additional spirit for every single one that you crit. So in this build, you're going to want to stack a sufficient amount of crit, obviously, so you can keep on generating spirit to keep on spamming your abilities. So that's a really nice stat to stack is crit. Next skill I'm using is Wave of Light with the Wall of Light rune. Wave of Light, I'm just going to read it, it's hard to explain. Focuses a wave of light that crushes enemies for 829% weapon damage as holy, followed by an additional 90% weapon damage as holy to all enemies in a line. So it's going to drop down an attack of 829% weapon damage in front of you, and right after that it's going to send a AoE line damage behind that does 96 additional damage to everyone behind that, and it kind of like knocks them back a little bit, I've noticed. I'm using the Wall of Light rune, which increases the initial damage to 1,202% weapon damage, so this is a nice, like, fuck this area in particular attack. It's just going to lay down a solid amount of instant DPS right in front of you in whatever direction you click, and then it's going to send 90% extra damage, 96% extra damage in a line behind your attack. So it lands a pretty significant area of damage and does 1,202% weapon damage. So, and it consumes 75 spirit. So it's a large amount of spirit, but it's also a large amount of damage. But that shouldn't be a problem because you shouldn't have problems generating spirit, honestly. And the next one I'm using is Breath of Heaven with the Circle of Scorn rune. This is a survivability, slight DPS attack, slight DPS skill. It basically just heals you and all your allies within 12 yards for 6,000 to 7,000 life. And I'm using the Circle of Scorn rune, which adds 80% weapon damage on top of that. So this is a nice oh shit button just for a quick heal, and it dishes out a little bit of damage too. This is interchangeable with some other skills depending on whether or not you need this, if your gear is up to par or not. My gear's not all that great, so I like to use this. This helps me survive a little bit better. So, I mean, this is usable. You don't have to have it. It's not mandatory, but it's very nice if you're lacking in the gear department. So that's a really nice defensive skill to have. The next skill I'm using is Serenity. It basically just, I'll put this in really dumbed down terms. It puts a bubble around you that basically absorbs all damage for 3 seconds and grants immunity to control impairing effects. So you can't be CC'd, you can't be crowd controlled, you can't be frozen, you can't be jailed, any of that stuff. Can't be feared. So this is a really, really nice oh shit button that will really help when you're about to die. This is a really good countermeasure to like fallen maniacs, frozen, jailer, any of that stuff. Or if you just know you're not going to be able to get out of a desecration, plagued, or fire chains, this will give you a few seconds to get your stuff straightened out and get out of harm's way. I'm using the Peaceful Repose rune. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Don't really care either. When activated, Serenity heals you for 6,000 to 7,000 life, which is really nice. It throws a bubble on you, making you basically invincible for 3 seconds and heals you a nice little chunk of damage. This goes along really well with Breath of Heaven. If you know you're getting into a really tight spot, pop your Serenity, heals you. Pop your Breath of Heaven, also heals you. Take you from almost dying to pretty much surviving a really bad situation. These are 2 really nice defensive skills to have together. It has saved my ass on multiple occasions. I can't even tell you how many times. My next skill is Sweeping Wind with the Cyclone rune. Now this is basically what this whole thing focuses on, this whole build. I'll just read it. Surround yourself in a vortex that continuously deals 20% weapon damage to all enemies within 10 yards. So it's going to put a little aura around you that will do 20% weapon damage to anybody that comes within that 10-yard range. The vortex lasts for 6 seconds and is refreshed each time you strike an enemy with a melee attack. Landing a critical attack increases the vortex effect up to 2 times for a total effect of 60% weapon damage. So every time you crit, it'll stack this skill even higher. So it'll go 20%, 40%, 60%. But in order to maintain this, you need to keep on attacking to refresh the skill. So you keep on attacking and it'll sustain your aura for you. If you don't attack, if you don't hit anything, it will drop off and you will have to recast it. Now, I'm using the Cyclone rune, which, like I said, I'll just read this. These are just really big spells, so I'll just read it and then I'll explain it. While your vortex is at a maximum stat count, critical hits have a chance to spawn a lightning tornado, which then periodically electrocutes enemies for 26% weapon damage as lightning damage. Each spawn tornado lasts 3 seconds. So as you are critting, you are going to be spawning these little blue lightning tornadoes, which will seek out enemies and dish out additional damage. This is really nice for laying out a lot of area of effect damage. I mean, it'll cover a significant amount of ground. Stop that. It's my son. So this is also another reason as to why you'll want to stack crit. You'll be generating a lot of tornadoes, and you'll stack your spell a lot faster if you're critting more often. So the more higher crit you have, the easier you're going to stack up this spell, and the more tornadoes you're going to be generating. So this is going to be your main DPS dealer. This will put out a ton of damage, and it's really effective. And it kills trash mobs really fast. And it's really effective on elites too. I mean, it just puts out a lot of damage, continuous damage in a large area. Next skill I'm using is Mantra of Retribution. Basically, it's just a mantra that makes you reflect 40% 40% holy damage, 40% of the damage you take in. So it's just basically a thorn spell. That's not really the reason as to why I use this. That's nice and all. But the actual reason as to why this spell is as good as it is because of the rune that's used with it. The rune I am using is Transgression. It increases your attack speed for you and your allies by 8% as long as mantra is up. So this is basically going to make you hit faster and deal out more DPS. So it'll make you crit more often as well because you're going to be attacking that much quicker. So the mantra itself is nice, it's awesome and all, but the Transgression rune is really what makes this an essential skill in my opinion. This is a really, really good rune. So I definitely suggest using this. It's just going to make you put out DPS more and make you attack faster. I mean, awesome spell. Moving on to the passive skills. The first one I'm using is the Guardian's Path. It has 2 effects depending on whether you're dual wielding or using a two-handed weapon. I am dual wielding, so I am gaining 15% chance to dodge incoming attacks because I am dual wielding. And two-handed weapons makes you generate 35% additional spirit, but I don't use a two-hander. I don't really even suggest it. So the next skill I'm using is One with Everything. It basically makes it to where all your resistance is equal to your highest elemental resistance. So let me show you. I'm stacking cold resist, so as you can see, I have 688 cold resist, and all of them are equal to that one. I am stacking nothing but cold resist and resist all on the side. So they're all 688 because of One with Everything. So that makes it a lot easier to focus on one resist to bring them all up to a high average. Alright, next one is Pacifism. While you're under the effect of any CC like Stun, Fear, Immobilize, and Charm, one of those chances that you just happen to get hit by one of those and you can't get away from it, it makes it to where all damage taken is reduced by 75%, which is awesome. It's really good to have that to fall back on. So you're going to be taking only 25% of the damage that you would have been taking otherwise. I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to get hit by a CC. You're going to get jailed. You're going to get frozen eventually. It's going to happen. It always does. So this is a nice thing to fall back on. This will save your butt on many occasions. You'll notice you'll take significantly less damage when you do happen to get CC'd, because it happens to everyone. You might as well have something to fall back on when it does. This is a great skill. Very good for survivability. Now, if you haven't noticed, a lot of this build is focused around surviving. It's not a huge DPS output build, but it's really good for just staying alive, which is basically the name of the game. If you're dead, you're not dealing any DPS. What good is your high DPS if you're dead? So I really like this build because it tends to be a very survivable build. It's a lot of fun. So that's pretty much it. I think in my next video, I'll be showing you guys the actual gameplay, show you how it works. My gear's not all that great, so I'll probably do it on anywhere. Anyways, my video recorder just ran out of time, so I had to start over. So, anyways, that's pretty much all I got for this. My next video, like I said, will be gameplay. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or anything like that, just let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a like or a thumbs up or whatever. And if you really like it, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be doing more monk content in the future, but I'm still going to stay with barbarian stuff in the future as well, because I'm a barbarian fanboy. I've always loved barbarians. It's still my favorite class in the game, but monk is amazing. So if you haven't tried the monk, yet, I definitely suggest trying it. It's an awesome class, tons of awesome builds, great skills. Anyways, that's about all I got for today. Oh, before I go, check out the description. I'm going to put a link to my Facebook, just like any other video. Go over there, give me a like if you want to stay up to date and everything. I apologize if I'm stuttering a lot. Usually when I make these videos, I'm extremely caffeinated, like I am right now. So I tend to lose my train of thought. All right, that's actually all I've got for today. I'm actually going to end this right now. So, yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Have a great day.